good evening everybody, or should I say good morning. So today in this video I'm gonna demonstrate how I'm gonna make a drone, and maybe you can find the video useful on, in case if you wanna try to make your own drone for the Star Defenders 2D video game. So you can contribute and help out the developers, or maybe if you have a custom server, add your own drone. Alright, so let's take a look. First thing you need to know, I'm gonna just go here on the sprite. You need to make sure you have a drone sprite aligned, like this is the idle sprite that it has when it runs around. You need three sprite types. This is the first one when it's just idle, flying around, whatever. This is the shooting sprite when it attacks something, and this is the sprite when it is destroyed. So yeah, make sure you use something like a GIMP or a Photoshop or whatever video, image editor you have that can save .png files. So this white background doesn't exist, and make sure it's transparent. So if I were to save the file now, it would have the white background, but since I'm editing in Paint and I haven't touched the file, it is actually transparent. So make sure that exists. So basically, yeah, make sure you have your own sprite. So I'm gonna add a variation of that kind of drone, which is gonna fire rails. Wait, that's the wrong sprite. This is the right sprite. So this is the sprite, 1 second, gravel slash flora slash floor drone, somewhere up here if I remember. Let me just check. Yeah, it was here. This variation, I'm gonna make it fire rail bullets, rail shots. So basically, here's the idle sprite it has when it's just rolling around. This is a sprite that's gonna be playing, showing when it fires the weapon. And this is the sprite when it's destroyed, when it has 0 HP. So let's go and add it. So basically, you need to make sure you downloaded the game and extracted it. Like right click here, press extract, then OK. But I already extracted, so there's no need to. If you need to download the game, you can just go to GitHub and go to its branch and click download zip, and it will start downloading your game. You can usually, if you don't want to find the URL, you can usually go here. Well, not now, but basically any official server of the Star Defenders game, and I think you can find it here. You click here and you will be redirected to the GitHub page. So let's take a look here what we have. Anyway, here's my drone sprite. Here's how it looks in the native Windows 10 image viewer. It's kind of blurry because of the low pixel count, because it's a pixel game, etc, etc. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna copy this image. I'm gonna paste it in the assets file. I already have it here because that's where I saved it initially. So just place it here and make sure it's the correct one. Yes, here it is. It's in the assets file. You have all the images of all the game, and even the textures like the good dirt, corruption, flesh, etc. Basically all the images are located in the assets folder. Here are the player skins. Here are jibs when you destroy something when it has low HP and you hit it with a really hard weapon. Like for example, here's asp when you shoot it into 2 pieces. Anyway, we added a sprite there, so we're gonna need to alter some entity parts of the drone. This is the SD drone file. Usually you can just sort it by name and then scroll SD drone. Here it is. So what you're gonna want to do is name it like this. Well, it depends on the faction actually, which is it. In this case it's a Falcon drone faction, so we're just gonna add a number 2 to it, since it's a new sprite type, new drone type of the same faction. If you were to name something else faction, like Shurg or something, let's say random names, you would type here, let's say drone Shurg, just so it can be clarified and easily read by other developers. Make sure your image name is spelled correctly here. As we can see, let's go back to assets. here it is, Falcock, drone Falcock sprite 3. We need to make sure it's a sprite sheet. I already told this, I think. So, okay, let's take a look what we're working with. Essentially what I'm gonna do is, I'm not sure how to say it well. I'm just gonna copy most of the properties of the regular drone. Let me just showcase you how the actual Falcon drone works in the game. One second, I'm also gonna show you how. Here. So let's take a look. Localhost 3000. I'm going to start the game, and to be able to spawn something, I need to enter God mode. There's no permission, so I'm gonna type in self-promote for the first time. It's gonna generate a super user file, which is gonna let you know the password you need to be able to enter God mode.
Once you have built your base foundation and install the base shielding unit,
Let's take a look at that again.
add some tools and connect them with the cable management
God mode.
communication. From entering your base.
This is the drone type we're using. As you can see, it's firing bullets, looking at you, it's moving towards you. So we're gonna make a variation of that drone. It's firing fast, it moves around fast. So yeah, we're just gonna use a variation of that. If you want to use something like a variation of a Syric drone, let me just find it. Here we go. We will obviously use its code. Here's a sector drone. It doesn't do much damage, it has high knockback, but it's not showable because I'm in God mode. And then there's the Saronian drone type, fires a projectile, it's the other one. There's one that fires both drones, which are suicide drones. Here's another one. Let's check. They fire 6 burst bullets. I'd say the container ones are the most lethal because, yeah, they one-shot you. But the drone detonator itself has like 100 HP, so it's not that lethal. Anyway, what I was trying to say, we are using Falcon drones as a template for our new drone type. And let's go back to the code. This is where the sprite stuff happens. So we need to define it under the static init class, our drone type, so we can easily spawn it whenever we need to. Falcock rail. Make sure it's the number 10. I mean, in this case number 10 because the last one is number 9. If it was something like number 13, that means we need to type in 14, etc. So it can be distinguished with numbers. Anyway, usually you would probably need to alter hitbox depending on the drone type. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Since this is the similar drone to the Falcock one, we're gonna use the same hitbox types. This is the hitbox X, Y, X1, Y2. So basically what this does is alter the hitbox of the drone. This basically codes with these double vertical lines checks if the drone is either a Falcock drone type or the Falcock rail drone type. So either of those drone types will set the hitbox to have the same as usual. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna alter the health. This is the health they spawn with, and it checks which drone type is it. Let's see, setter drones have 150, council drones have 200, etc, etc, etc. So if we were to make Falcon drone, our drone is gonna have more HP, so we're gonna need to add here another question mark, Falcon rail, after the question mark, and the double digit, I mean, I don't know how to say it. Basically, we're gonna give it a little bit more health, like 160. Earthly drones have 100, so yeah. Maybe I should keep it at 130, but it looks a little bit more tankier, so I'm gonna give it 160. Maybe I should give it 150, so it's more friendly to newer players who have like an assault rifle, so it can be shot with like 6 bullets rather than, oh, it takes 6 bullets anyway. Okay, I guess never mind. So let's progress further. These are all default properties that the drones have. There's no need to alter these. So anyway, let's take a look here. You're probably gonna want it to explode on death, since, I mean, when it's destroyed, because regular drone types usually do that. So this part here is when you make it explode on death under the damage function, and you know, it checks if its health is below 0 and it was alive, then send an effect of explosion if it's one of these drone types. Falcock, Council, Setter, Zirg and Watcher, and now Falcock Rail Drone. Of course, this is where your death sound effect is played. Drone Zirg and Zirg Watcher have these. Turtle also has this, but it's in a separate line of code because it's not exploding on death. I mean, when destroyed. Anyway, you're gonna try to make it shoot now. We can probably, but first I missed something, and that's the drawing the drone when it's the drone type. Let's take a look. We're gonna also need draw HUD, so we can specify what type of drone is it. When players, you know, mouse over with their mouse cursor, so they can see the name of the drone. Falcock Rail Drone. And now the draw function. This is where we need to draw our sprite. And we're gonna do that by adding a check here. If this is an earth drone, we're just gonna swap this one out by using drone Falcock Rail, and then we just use Falcock 3. Oh, I mean 2, I think it's number 2 because we specified it in the static class. Yeah, right here. So anyway, we can probably make it spawn already, so I'm gonna just go over here in the game, client folder, SD shop. This is where you spawn things when you're in the developer mode. So how are we gonna do that? We're just gonna go search in SD drone, and we're probably gonna find our Falcock drone somewhere in here, which is over here. Now here's the thing, we had the type, I think it was 9. I'm gonna check one more time. Make sure you type in the correct drone type, because they are specified right over here. Our drone type is number 10. So we put it in here, type 9. We don't need to put the I18 since our Falcock drone is by default set to 1 in the parameters. So let's try to spawn one drone and see how it looks like. Enter God mode, enter development test category.
Hi.
Our drone should be here somewhere. Maybe
Use
I'm
the
missing
double
something, I'm
SD
not
key
sure.
to move around, or the arrow button. Can I escape this door for matter?
My bad. Let's restart the server.
Disconnected.
Drone folder. Let's retry. We can already see our drone type over here. Here's our new drone type. Here it is. It's not shooting at us because we haven't given it the function what to shoot and when to shoot. So yeah, it's just looking at us at the moment. But since regular Falcock drone can see us, it's going to shoot at us. And let's just check the HP it has. Obviously only got down to this. Let's take a look. It should have 150. Yes, it does. Alright, so everything's going as intended for now. So we're gonna make it shoot some red rays. It's gonna shoot it slowly, like 2 times a second, maybe 2 times a second. We should probably also give it a slightly bigger kill, I'm not sure. Or maybe. It's the same as the regular Falcock drone, and the Falcock drone is it's not like we're gonna miss it. So, extended for now. What we need to do now is make it shoot. So we're gonna go over to the shoot code, which is in onThink function here, I think. Let's take a look. Okay, so somewhere around here, it's gonna be checking here. This is our shooting function. If the attack timer is below 0, run tutorial. Sorry, got interrupted. Basically, this is our shoot function, or at least ranking targets function. And I think somewhere around here in the shoot function. Yeah, here it is. This is for the drone Falcon, regular drone type. Below here you can see, because we create a bullet object, new SD bullet. And this is what we're gonna copy. And we're gonna paste it somewhere below, because that's how code works. When you make a new drone type, you paste it below everything else. Falcon, we're gonna add the rail part, Falcon rail drones. And now here's the thing, how do we make this thing a rail? I'm gonna give it 20 damage rather than regular 15. Maybe a bit brighter. I'm not sure if this is the proper hex code. And I think what we need to do is give the railgun sound effect, maybe a little bit less pitch, or slightly higher volume. Attack timer is gonna be maybe 13. So basically, attack timer is how frequently it shoots, and every third. If we were set to set it, since game speed runs on 30 of these frames, this would result in the drone that it shoots once every second. We're gonna try to test that one out. Maybe it's gonna work as intended. I'm not sure, but it's gonna need some changes. It doesn't shoot rails yet. It's gonna shoot regular bullets, but slower.
Say the motor is always on.
As you can see, it's shooting once per second. But we have a functioning bullet at the moment. So if you usually want to add a rail, we just need to set, since our entity is defined as, our bullet as bullet object, bullet underscore object, we just add rail equals true. This is gonna make it fire rails. But we're gonna speed it up like here, since 20 damage is not much. It's gonna fire about 2 bullets per second average, sometimes 3, because something a bit closer to 2.5 bullets per second. Slightly slower.
Disconnected.
Oh, boyer instead of object. Alright. Let's try again. Let's go to the surface and let's try our new drone type. Well, it's working as intended. Maybe I should use the rail effect, this way it looks like a cube projectile. Let's turn on broad mode. Well, it seems efficient enough, and since it's low HP, it's not gonna be too hard to take care of, even with a pistol. Let's spawn somewhere to showcase. I'm probably gonna approach us somewhere here nearby. Oh, we didn't get 150. We already gunned it down. Not a big deal.
You should build a long range
Maybe this should be
teleporter when
250
you
HP.
establish the
Yeah,
base.
probably. Or
Disconnected.
200 maybe. Yeah, we're gonna give it 200. So let's go back to HP. This is our max HP we start with as the drone. I'm gonna give it 200. It's not much, but maybe 175. Don't want too much of it. So assault rifle has 25 damage. It takes 7 shots rather than 8 shots. It's the point of the drones is to make them fun, but not too frustrating, you know. Well, actually, it depends on drone type. Some drones are straight up lethal, like the detonator. Okay, so we have the drone all set up, basically. Our drone is ready. I'm just gonna check that rail. No, is it? How do I explain this? Basically, railgun has this sound effect, visual effect, which looks like a Quake railgun. So I'm gonna give that effect to the rail circle. That's what we need to give it. And set this to equals rather than the dot. Two dots, I mean. Okay, let's see if we can have it. Let's start the new drone type. Nice, this looks much better, man. Still, maybe the spread could look a bit more like there's more white in the middle, so you know, the rail itself is shocking. Actually, it's convincing that this is not the best looking sprite at the moment for firing the gun. There's one more thing missing that the Falcon drone has. I'm gonna demonstrate it in 1 second. It only stays in one piece when you destroy a new drone. Well, this one splits into multiple parts when it's hit by a hard weapon, like the HUD. We need to give that to the new drone type since it's large. So how are we gonna do that? Well, I already made the sprite, which is here, drone Falcon parts. It kind of sucks when you zoom in with the windows. Here's our new sprite. It's just basically demolished parts of the new drone type. We're gonna put it under assets, Gibbs folder. This is where it goes. Since I already pasted it there, it's suggesting me to replace the file, but it's already there, so it does not matter. So, adding a gib to something, make sure you go to the SDGib class. I'm just gonna go copy paste the Falcon drone parts. Last is number 9, so we're gonna add here number 10. Falcon rail drone, so its name is changed. Parts 3. Maybe I think slightly outer hitbox, so it's 5555 since it's a larger. Maybe give it 25 mass instead of 20, it's a larger, you know, drone type, etc, etc. Make sure you have the Gibbs in here, otherwise it won't work. Let's go back to SD drone. So let's take a look where our Gibbs, our drone splits into two parts. It's obviously on dying when it's destroyed, so we're gonna look into the damage function, because this is where death happens for the drone. And our drone Falkrock, since it can gib, we found it right here, and we're gonna copy paste it, add the rail, add rail here and here. Since it splits into two parts, we only need two parts. Now we can probably test it out. Hope it looks decent enough. And let's give it a try. That's alright. Okay, now we get stuck in the air. This means we need to make its gib spawning parts. Let's go back to 1 second. Let's go back to the SD drone. Let's go back to the part of the damage function where it splits in two. Alright. This is where the drone splits in two. What we need to do is make it when it separates into two pieces. Currently the pieces are too close to each other, so we need to make them a little bit more distant. I'm gonna use +6 and +6. Maybe this is what we need to do because we expanded our hitbox of the drone by 1 in vertical size. So maybe that's all what we need to do to prevent it from getting stuck in the air. That one's better. Let's check it. This is good. But the sprite itself, I don't think it did a great job of firing and other animations. And that's the regular death drone. Alright, we have everything in place, so how do you submit a pull request? Well, that's gonna be quite simple. I'm going to fork it. Okay, I already have a fork, so I'm gonna need to delete the fork first. Or synchronize it. Okay, this basically what you need to do to add your fork. Make sure you have an account, then just click fork and it creates a fork here. You can usually go to your profile and then click on your fork. Now you have the same copy as the main branch, and basically what you need to do is to add your own files back where you added them here. So we need to add a sprite first. Here are our sprite, our first sprite. So we commit and we check a look. Sorry. And the sprite is in place. This is the idle sprite, attack sprite, death sprite, and when you destroy. Let's go back. Now we need to add the gib sprite since we added the gib. If not, you usually just skip this part. Depends on how big the drone is. And here's our new parts sprite. Let's add it. Commit changes. Let's take a look again just to be sure. That is our drone gib sprite, alright. And let's now just add the client stuff, like the shop. Yes, the shop part we edited so we can actually spawn it in DevTools. Now here we go. You can check the code yourself. Here it is. The green stuff is the added. The red stuff is usually removed or changed. So let's take a look here as well. So only thing left here is the new drone and the gib class. Gib class, of course, if you added the new gib type. If the new drone is supposed to split into multiple parts if you hit it with a hard enough weapon. And you should probably add a description, unless you're gonna do it in the pull request. But we're gonna do it in the pull request, so yeah. We are 4 commits ahead. You're gonna click on this contribute part. We're gonna open the pull request. And we're just gonna name it new drone type. And now you need to add a description about the drone itself to describe it, I think I get 175 HP. Actually, yeah, that's about it. There's only one more thing I'm gonna show you, but yeah, and that's basically spawning the drone in game. But that's after I create the pull request, since usually that's what we do. 1 second, please. We're gonna wait with the pull request since I forgot to do that. We need to make it spawnable, spawning in the events, you know, when the game tells us to. So we're gonna need to find the faction event, which is here, event Falcox, which is number 3. Sometimes you just search number 3. Sometimes you can't find, like, let's say event number 35 because let's take a look upstairs. Sometimes the events are you know, like this, r equals equals, but not this one. Earlier events were just numerals. Anyway, let's take a look where our drones spawn. Here it is. Alright. Okay. We're gonna give it a random chance of 20%, 0.2. This, I mean 10, or I think it's 0. Let me just check again. Oh, it's number 1, okay. Or number 1. Drone type. We're gonna copy this. If I think I need to paste it in IE invasion. Yeah, I do. Here we go. So I think spawning this event enough is gonna spawn our fellow drone. It's just gonna be a little bit more rarer than the regular one. So yeah, we just added it to spawn on the events. How do we spawn the event? Well, that's simple. We go press F12. If you have node.js installed, you open the DevTools, it's the right hexagon here, green hexagon, and then you type in sdworld.entity classes.sdweather.on instance.execute event, and we select number 3 or 5 or whatever event it was spawning from up here. In this case it's number 3. We're gonna spawn, we're gonna spam it. I'm gonna take a look around.
I don't know nothing about the road.
Find our drone type if we are lucky enough. That's not it. No new drone type, that's strange. Alright, let's remove all drones and spawn them again. Still no new drone types. Maybe I missed something in the code. I don't think so. Maybe just bad RNG. I don't see it shooting at me anybody yet. Oh, there it is. Ha, jackpot.
So this is how I am small side.
So essentially, yeah, we got everything working now. Now, let's keep going. We need to add the drone to the SD weather part, because that's where we made it spawnable from. Here it is. Make sure in entities folder. check the code just in case, and yeah, seems to be okay. Oh, um, fuck, I need to reverse the commit. Yeah, that's in the main branch commit. Well, okay, let's go back to our branch. I wasn't paying attention, so yeah, my mistake. It is 5 in the morning after all. Alright, let's check code. Let's contribute, open the pull request. Alright, the description is still saved. Make it simple and understandable. And when you're done, you can create a pull request. And this is the pull request. Now I usually check it here, press here. We can check the files changed and the commits. Here are files changed, make sure everything is nice and clean and understandable. Well, seems everything is okay. So, as we tested, we can go back to conversation and I can just merge this into the game. And that's about it. So, you know, our thing is in the place. So, I don't know, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, I'm on the Discord, so feel free to hit me up. Goodbye.